Hashtag Trending would like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scale. You can find them at meter.com/HTT. Yann LeCun is leaving Meta. SoftBank sells its entire NVIDIA stake to fund a $30 billion OpenAI bet. Europe faces a Wi-Fi versus mobile showdown over the 6 GHz spectrum, and Windows chief says the OS is evolving into an agentic platform, to which users push back. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Yann LeCun, the Turing Award-winning AI scientist at Meta Platforms, who helped build its research arm and is widely recognized as one of the founders of modern AI, is reportedly planning to be leaving the company in the coming months to launch his own startup focused on world models. That's according to reporting in a number of tech journals. LeCun joined Meta in 2013 and founded its Fundamental AI Research, or FAIR unit, becoming a flagship figure in modern artificial intelligence. His work on convolutional neural networks and energy-based models helped shape how machines process visual and spatial data, a foundation for many current AI systems. According to reports from the Financial Times and others, LeCun has already begun raising capital for his next venture, which will push beyond large language models towards AI systems that simulate physical and causal understanding of the world. This isn't new for LeCun. He's been vocal about this for some time, that the current approach, or the LLM model, is not going to lead us to AGI, and instead, we need that physical and causal understanding of the world that he's referred to truly get to AGI. But it may be more than a philosophical decision. Meta's decision to reorganize its AI efforts may have played a role as well. Meta recently acquired an investment in Scale AI for $14.3 billion and used that to install its founder, Alexander Wang, to lead a new superintelligence labs division. LeCun's research unit now reports into this structure, a shift that many see as signaling Meta's move from long-term foundational work to product-driven AI. For the wider industry, LeCun's departure would mark a significant inflection point. As one of the godfathers of AI, his exit hints at a growing tension between research-first and product-first strategies in giant tech firms. It also opens a path for a new venture with the credibility to attract top talent and capital in the race for the next generation of AI. If Meta loses LeCun, it may underscore how the AI arms race is forcing even the most research-oriented organizations to reassess their priorities. For professionals tracking AI strategy, the message is clear. Talent and vision are shifting fast, and the future belongs to those who are willing to bet on longer horizon breakthroughs, but the immediate profitability may go to those who focus on product development. According to a number of reports, SoftBank has sold its entire stake in NVIDIA, worth about $5.8 billion, as part of a sweeping move by CEO Masayoshi Son to redirect capital towards a massive investment in OpenAI. The Tokyo-based investment conglomerate, best known for its early and highly profitable stake in Alibaba, operates the Vision Fund, one of the world's largest technology investment portfolios. The sale of 32.1 million NVIDIA shares in October marks the second time SoftBank has exited the chipmaker, after a similar divestment in 2019. The company was careful to say their move wasn't driven by concerns over NVIDIA's performance. It's a strategic decision to fund what could become one of the largest private sector AI investments on record. According to Fortune and Reuters, SoftBank's board has approved a $22.5 billion investment, a first tranche towards a total commitment of up to $30 billion, and that is part of a $40 billion syndicate round For OpenAI, the remaining capital may lift SoftBank's total exposure to as high as $34 billion by year-end, pending a corporate restructuring at OpenAI ahead of a potential public listing. The investments tie directly into the so-called Stargate project, a multi-partner $500 billion effort led by SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle to build a network of next-generation data centers across the United States. The first of these sites has already gone live in Texas. NVIDIA's shares fell roughly 2% following the announcement, while SoftBank stock gained ground as investors increasingly viewed it as a proxy for OpenAI's growth. Analysts say the shift underscores Son's evolving strategy, moving from hardware and infrastructure towards AI platforms and applications. The move fits a familiar pattern for the billionaire investor, who has made and sometimes lost fortunes on big bets in transformative technology. His wager this time, observers say, is that the ownership of AI intelligence, not the chips that power it, will define the next generation of tech leaders. A dispute is heating up in Europe over the future of the 6 GHz wireless band, with two powerful industry groups pushing in opposite directions. One arguing it should stay open for Wi-Fi, the other calling for exclusive use by mobile networks. The Wi-Fi Alliance and the Dynamic Spectrum Alliance, DSA, have written to the European digital ministers warning that the upper 6 GHz band, from 6425 to 7125 MHz, could soon be off-limits to Wi-Fi. They argue this would undermine the next generation of Wi-Fi standards such as Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7, which depend on the full band to deliver higher speeds and lower latency. The European Commission's Radio Spectrum Policy Group, RSPG, is studying whether the upper 6 GHz band can be shared between license-exempt Wi-Fi and licensed mobile services. The lower half of the band is already unlicensed, and the UK regulator Ofcom has adopted a similar approach. Wi-Fi advocates fear that Germany's government may have shifted its position to back exclusive mobile use, potentially swaying the EU-wide decision. A spokesperson for Germany's Federal Ministry for Digital and Transport told Heiss Online that future 6G applications would require greater access to the band than Wi-Fi. The DSA countered that limiting Wi-Fi would hurt innovation and consumer access. Blocking Wi-Fi access to the upper 6 GHz band would be devastating to the future of Wi-Fi technology in Europe, the group said, calling the spectrum uniquely positioned to sustain the evolution of the Wi-Fi ecosystem. Its members include Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Broadcom, and Cisco. Mobile operators and equipment makers such as Vodafone, Nokia, and Telia see things differently. They have tested the 6 GHz frequencies and reported download speeds of up to 5 gigabits per second, claiming the band would add massive capacity for 6G networks in urban and rural areas. Their position is backed by the International Telecommunications Union, which allocated the upper 6 GHz band for mobile use at the 2023 World Radio Conference. By contrast, the United States Federal Communications Commission has reserved the entire 6 GHz band for Wi-Fi and other unlicensed uses in 2020, leaving Europe to decide its own path. The RSPG's next plenary meeting on November 12th is expected to discuss possible sharing arrangements, with a final harmonization plan due in July of 2027. Microsoft's head of Windows, Pavan Davuluri, is facing a wave of criticism after describing the company's operating system as evolving into an agentic OS. The post, shared on X this week, was meant to highlight how Windows is becoming a foundation for AI-powered experiences, but it quickly drew widespread backlash from frustrated users. Davuluri's comments come just weeks after Microsoft reorganized its Windows division to align with its broader artificial intelligence strategy. The company has repeatedly suggested that future versions of Windows will integrate AI agents deeply into the operating system, enabling proactive and context-aware features tied to Microsoft Copilot. Many users were not impressed. Replies to Davaleri's post were overwhelmingly negative, with one comment reading, "Stop this nonsense, no one wants this," and another adding, "It's evolving into a bug-ridden slop pile." This sentiment reflects a growing perception that Windows has become bloated and less stable, with updates often introducing new problems instead of solving old ones. Critics argue that Microsoft is pushing AI while neglecting fundamentals such as performance, privacy, and user control. Complaints about mandatory Microsoft accounts, forced OneDrive integration, and persistent Copilot prompts have become common. Observers say this has fueled the belief that Windows is being used to drive subscriptions and data collection more than to serve users. Microsoft's leadership has said little in response to the backlash, but the controversy highlights a larger challenge: convincing customers that an AI-driven Windows can make their computers easier to use and not more intrusive. Until then, many users seem to be sending a clear message. They want a better Windows, not a smarter one. And that's our show. Once again, we'd like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers full-stack networking infrastructure, wired, wireless, and cellular to leading enterprises. And working with their partners, Meter designs, deploys, and manages everything required to get performant, reliable, and secure connectivity in a space. They design the hardware, the firmware, build the software, manage deployments, and run support. It's a single, integrated solution that scales from branch offices, warehouses, and large campuses all the way to data centers. You can book a demo at meter.com/HTT. That's meter.com/HTT. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a thrilling Thursday.